Today's lesson will be telling time to the half hour. We'll begin with a 5-minute warm-up, remembering how we tell time to the hour. Then we will learn to tell time to the half hour. We will solve the problem of the lesson. We will learn to tell time to the half hour on a digital clock. And then we will finish up by putting on our thinking caps for a problem-solving activity. So let's begin by reviewing how to tell time to the hour. When you tell time to the hour, you need to make sure that you remember which hand is the hour hand and which hand is the minute hand. So let's look at our clock here. Our hour hand is the short hand, and it's pointing to the 1. And the minute hand is pointing to the 12, which means o'clock or 0 minutes. So we would say 1 o'clock. I want to introduce you to these numbers around the clock as they relate to minutes, because as the hour hand, it's just the number. So it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and so forth. But with minutes, it's a little bit different, because you'll notice these little lines in between the numbers. Each of these little lines represents 1 minute. So if you count them all the way around, it will equal 60 minutes, because there are 60 minutes in an hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how these numbers relate to the minute hand. So I'm going to start moving the minute hand, so help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now the minute hand is pointing to 1, but we wouldn't say this is 1, 1. What this would be is it would be 1:05, because that's 5 minutes. So when you jump from the 12 to the 1, that's 5. Now we'll see that there's 5 more when we go to the 2. Help me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now the minute hand is pointing to the 2. That means it's 10 minutes, so it's 1:10. If you look down here, 1:10. So we say 5:10. Let's go to the next one. Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 10, 15. So now it is 1:15. So each of these numbers means 5 minutes. We count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. 1:15. Let's do the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 1:20. There's the 1. 5, 10, 15, 20. Now I want you to notice the hour hand. Notice how it's not pointing directly to the 1 anymore. As the minute hand moves around the face of the clock, the hour hand moves toward the next number. Because it's not exactly 1 o'clock, it's past 1, so the hour hand is starting to move past the 1 toward the 2. So let's do some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the minute hand is pointing to the 5, so let's count by our 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. Did you notice how the hour hand moved as well? It's getting closer to the 2. Let's move the minute hand again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the minute hand is pointing to the 6. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So now we say it is 1:30. Now I want you to notice the minute hand. The minute hand has moved halfway around the clock. So we say this is half past 1 o'clock. Because it's past 1 now, it's half past. It's gone halfway around the clock. So we refer to 1:30 as half past 1 o'clock. Now if I were going to change my hour hand, it's past the 4. It's not quite to the 5 yet, so we would say 4:30 or half past 4, because it's past 4, but it hasn't gotten to 5 yet. So we're going to be doing some more work with that. But I want to make sure you understand how the minute hand relates to the numbers. So each of these numbers for minutes is 5. Notice the little lines in between. So let's count it by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. An hour has 60 minutes. So now it says tell time to the half hour. So we're going to use our little clock here to tell time to the half hour. So I'm going to be, this is my hour hand. I want you to pay attention to it as I move the minute hand. And you're going to help me count. Oops, it's not moving. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it is half past. What has it gone past? That's right, it's half past 7. $35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. What time is it now? It's 8 o'clock. Let's do another half past. So help me count my fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now it's half past 8 o'clock. That's right. So we would say half past 8 o'clock, or we could say 8:30. So let's go. We were at 30. Now we say 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Now we're at 9 o'clock. Okay, ready? Help me count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So now we're at half past. What has it gone past? That's right, it's gone past 9. So it's 9:30 or half past 9. Okay, we were at 9:30, so let's count our fives. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. What time is it now? 10 o'clock. All right, let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now it's half past. What number has it gone past? That's right, it's gone past the 10. So we say it's half past 10, or we could say it's 10:30. Now I want to point something out to you here. I want you to notice that a clock, you may have heard the phrase clockwise. That's because it refers to the direction that the hands on a clock move. They always move this direction. It's like start at the 12 and go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, back to the 12. It always moves in this direction. So when a number is past, it means it's already gone past that number and it hasn't reached the next number yet. So this is half past 10 because it's past 10, but it hasn't yet gotten to 11. All right, so we have 10:30, so help me count by fives. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Now we're at 11 o'clock. So let's move on and count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now we're half past, right, we're half past 11. Or we would say 11:30. So we're 11:30. Help me count. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. What time is that? That's right, it's 12 o'clock. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. So help me count my fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So now it's half past. That's right, it's half past 12. It hasn't gotten to the 1 yet. A lot of people want to read that as half past 1, but it hasn't gotten to the 1. You have to remember that it always moves this direction. And that's kind of tricky because 12 and then to 1 is kind of tricky. So that one you just have to be really careful with. All right, let's move on to the next part of our lesson. Okay, so our problem of the lesson today is going to be hearing a story about time, and our job will be to model that time on our paper clocks at home. So you have a paper clock at home that looks very much like this one here. So I'm going to give you an example. Here is the story. Mom, Dad, and Tom eat lunch at 1:30. So I'm taking my hour hand and I've moved it past the 1. It's halfway between the 1 and the 2. And the minute hand is halfway around the clock, so it's pointing to the 6. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, because half past means it is 1:30. And this is what it would look like on a digital clock. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a story. Your job will be to model it on your paper clock, and then I'm going to show you it on a digital version of your paper clock so you can check your work. So let's go to the first story. Mom buys groceries at 10 o'clock. So what I want you to do is I want you to show me 10 o'clock on your digital clock. Does your digital clock look like mine? Shorthand pointing to the 10, longhand pointing to the 12. Good job. Let's go to the next problem. Tom plays soccer at 11:30. Tom plays soccer at 11:30. So there's my 11, and now I'm going to go 11:30. So my hour hand is halfway between the 11 and the 12, and my minute hand is pointing to the 6. I bet you made your time faster than I did. Let's go to the next story. Dad walks the dog at 7:30. Dad walks the dog at 7:30. So there's 7, and then I want to go 7:30. Does your hour hand go halfway between the 7 and the 8? Your short hand? And is your long hand pointing to the 6? Good job. And the last story is Mom, Dad, and Tom eat lunch at 1:30. Be sure to model that on your clock. Did you show me the hour hand is 1:30, halfway between the 1 and the 2, and the minute hand is pointing to the 6. Mom, Dad, and Tom eat lunch at 1:30, or we would say 1:30. Good job on your work. Okay, so now I'm going to model some time on the clock. I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you a time here. 2, it's 2:30, or what we would say is 2:30. I'm going to give you another time, and I want you to show it to me on your clock. I want you to show me 5:30. 5:30. Does yours look like mine? You want to see how it looks on a digital clock. 5:30. Okay, ready to show me another time? Show me 9:30. 9:30. And we write that as 9:30. So it's 9 hours and 30 minutes. 9:30. Show me 11:30. Show me 11:30. We write that as 11:30. 11 hours, 30 minutes. I hope this makes sense. The biggest thing to remember is that when you're counting minutes on a clock, each of these numbers means 5 minutes. So let's count those fives again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Remember, there are 60 minutes in an hour. Now it's time to put on your thinking cap. We're going to solve a few problems today. At 6:30, the hour hand and the minute hand are both pointing to the 6. Is this correct? So when it's 6:30, are the hour hand and the minute hand both pointing directly to the 6? Try it on your clock and see. I'm going to try it on my clock. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now it's 6:30. Are the hour hand and minute hand both pointing directly to the 6? No. The minute hand is pointing to the 6, but the hour hand is pointing halfway between the 6 and the 7. So no, they are not both pointing directly to the 6. Did you know that already? Good. Let's read the next problem. At what time of day will the minute hand and the hour hand be on top of each other? That's kind of a challenge, isn't it? At what time of the day will the minute hand and the hour hand be on top of each other? So let's see. I'm going to kind of start moving my clock and see. Maybe you can do that on yours. Not at 7 o'clock. Not at 7:30. Not at 8 o'clock. Not at 8:30. 9 o'clock? Nope. 9:30? Nope. 10? Nope. 10:30? Nope. 11? Nope. 11:30? Nope. 12 o'clock. Do you remember how to write that? 12 o'clock. Now I hope you're using your paper clock at home to make time for yourself. You can kind of make a game out of it. You can have somebody play the half-past game. They can tell you a half-past time and you model the time, or you can tell them a half-past time and they model the time. I hope you have some fun with your paper clocks. Good luck on your work.